morning and welcome to the East Bay Church of Religious Science. My name is Reverend Anthony Jackson, and I am thrilled, happy, and full of love to be here today and to welcome each and every one of you. So let's take this opportunity to get up, greet each other with a hug, with a smile, with some East Bay love. Thank you. Go ahead, Smoke. Thank you. And as we return to our seats, I am a friend of God, expressing as Reverend Anthony Jackson. So I'd like to call my brother Chris Hanif up to lead us in the call to prayer.
Good morning, Happy New Year, and Assalamu alaikum. The times I do this, I think it creates inclusion. And at this point in time, we need everybody to love up on everybody. Allahu Akbar. 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 Allahu Akbar Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Ashhadu anna Muhammadan wa Rasulullah. Ashhadu anna Muhammadan wa Rasulullah. Hayya ala salah, hayya ala salah, hayya ala falah, hayya ala falah. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. La ilaha illallah.
As I love to say, there's many, many ways to get to the truth. But my truth is that God is and I am. And as we continue in this consciousness, as we continue knowing and declaring that Spirit is manifesting in many, many ways, in a ways called you, in a way called me. For God is truly in the midst of all things. And I understand that there is a power and a presence that I can use. It is the power and the presence of Spirit expressing itself in my thoughts, in my belief, in my knowing and declaring that I am an individualized expression of the one. And as this is my truth, this is the truth for each and every individual gathered here. For God is all that there is. For there is a power and a presence. So I just bless truth wherever it's being taught. For as I said earlier, there are many, many ways to get to the truth. But my truth is, God is, and we all are. So I just shout hallelujah. I shout hallelujah. I shout the joy of Spirit expressing itself as you. For I know who you are. I know what you are. So I just give thanks to the East Bay Church of Religious Science. I give thanks for the love, for the joy that I feel. I give thanks for our senior minister, the Reverend Darika Blackman. I give thanks for each and every one of you. For as I stated, God is and you all are. And for this, I give thanks. And I allow the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart to be acceptable as I release, I let go, and I let God, and so it is. Ah, yes, indeed, yes, indeed. Once again, I would like to welcome you all to East Bay Church of Religious Science, and I am Reverend Anthony Jackson. That is who I am. That is who I am. And we have a very special announcement that my sister, that's an inside joke. My sister will take over at this point.
Good morning, East Bay. I am Reverend Dr. Amandra, and I use she, her pronouns. So this morning, I have a special announcement. But first, I want to ask a question. How many of you have ever heard that phrase, God has prepared you for such a time as this? And while you were being prepared, you had no idea it was happening. Okay? So although we say that phrase and we believe it's a phrase from the Bible, it actually isn't. It is paraphrasing something from the book of Esther, chapter 4, verse 14. Esther was being encouraged to use her platform as queen to help the Jewish people from destruction. So today, when we say for such a time, it has become a popular phrase to express the idea that God has positioned someone in a particular place for a specific purpose to accomplish a very important task. So how many of you have found yourself in a place and you're like, oh my God, I had no idea I was being prepared for this particular idea or place, okay? So, for 50 years, God has positioned East Bay Church of Religious Science for such a time as this. A time where people are yearning to come together. People want unity. East Bay has prepared to be that place where all folks, regardless of their beliefs, can come together. We just had a witness of that this morning with the call to prayer. Can I get the first slide? This morning, this year, we are acknowledging all people and all faiths. We are honoring the unifying nature of religious thought and human experience. So each month, we are going to actively practice what we've been calling radical oneness. We're going to demonstrate what it means to actually be open at the top. See, when you're open at the top, everything can come in. So we will be lighting a candle each month to represent a different faith tradition. Can I get the second slide? So this month, we are lighting the flames of faith, and we're lighting a candle for the native and indigenous people, keepers of the earth's memory, wisdom, and the sacredness of all life. The sacred reading for today is from the Hopi people. We are the ones we have been waiting for. How many times you're like, I wish this could happen, I wish this could happen, I wish this could happen. Well, guess what? You are the ones that's supposed to make it happen. We are the ones. East Bay Church is the place where we are going to come together and we're going to unite.
Amen. Yes.
Can I get slide 3, please? So I'm inviting each and every one. Those love streamers, you're invited also. If you have a spiritual connection to a faith tradition and you want to share your knowledge with us this year, I want you to sign up in the bookstore, or there'll be a QR code coming next week where you can sign up. This is because inside of our community, there are so many of us that are practicing amazing faith traditions. And we want you to share that with us. Constance has been inside of Wiccan for decades. We want her to bring that knowledge to us. Carol has been studying with Brother Ishmael for years. We want her to bring that knowledge to us. Because when we learn about who we are practicing radical oneness. We are expanding multi-faith diversity consciousness. And when our consciousness expands, guess what? The whole world's consciousness expands. We are the ones we have been waiting for. So I invite you to come play with us, participate with us. The team is ready to accept you. And I want you to know that this is the time that God has prepared us for. Thank you so much. Have a blessed day. And please go to the bookstore and sign up. There's also a multi-faith journal in the bookstore you can order if you want to start studying on your own about the different faith traditions. Blessings to you this morning.
Thank you, Reverend Amanda. Question for all of you. Is this, or if this is your very, very first time celebrating with us at the East Bay Church of Religious Science, will you please stand so we can recognize your presence? We're not going to ask you to say anything. Yes, thank you. So, oh, wow, quite a few. You will please remain standing. Please remain standing as you get a gift from our ushers. And family, let's outstretch our hands in the direction of our guests, and please repeat after me. We see you. We know who you are. The God in us. Recognize the God in you. Welcome to East Bay Church of Religious Science. And so it is. You may be seated. Crystal, oh, there you are. Yeah, you come up and let us all stand now as we, if you're able, as we read our daily affirmation, God is the only power in my life, and we'll read this in unison. So let us start. God is the only power in my life. Nothing from without can touch the perfect life of God within me. No past experience has power over me. I am a perfect child of God, and nothing that anyone has ever done or said can interfere with my divine destiny. The power of God is greater than any circumstance in my life. The strength of God is mine to use. Turning away from all feelings of inadequacy, I discovered that all that I need is within me right now. As I forgive the past, I find that I have nothing to atone for and nothing to run away from. Casting off the old me, I discovered my true self. I take dominion in my life. Old habits have no power over me. Conditions have no power over me. Personalities have no power over me. I take dominion. I am whole. I am free. I am complete now and forevermore, and so it is. Yes. Crystal, please lead us.
Thank you. Good morning. Continuing in this radical oneness, bringing more love and more inclusion. Let's do this in Spanish. Qué bueno estar acá en comunidad para más amor y más inclusión. Dios es el único poder en mi vida. Nada de afuera puede tocar la vida perfecta de Dios adentro de mí. Soy una niña perfecta de Dios y nada que cualquiera haya hecho o dicho puede intervenir con mi primogenitura divina. El poder de Dios es más fuerte que cualquier circunstancia en mi vida. La fuerza de Dios es mía para utilizar. Olvidando los sentimientos de insuficiencia, yo descubro que todo lo que necesito está dentro de mí en este momento. Cuando perdono el pasado, encuentro que no tengo nada para espiar o escapar. Olvidando mi antigua persona, yo descubro mi verdadera persona. Yo tomo dominio en mi vida. Los hábitos antiguos no tienen poder sobre mí. Las condiciones no tienen poder sobre mí. Las personalidades no tienen poder sobre mí. Yo tomo dominio. Soy entera. Soy libre. Soy completa. Ahora y para siempre es así, sí, sí.
Good morning, East Bay. Oh my gosh, what an exciting day. My name is Reverend Derica Blackman. I'm the senior minister here. I use she or they gender pronouns, and I had to just come up here to introduce our very, very special musical guest today. You know, the last couple of weeks I've been talking about collective work and responsibility and moving from me to we. And we had a special guest that was coming to East Bay for the first time this Sunday. And a couple of days ago, his mother had a stroke and he had to leave. So our prayers go out to Silas as he's caring for his mom. And so we were, you know, looking hither and yon. Well, what are we going to do? Well, who's going to sing and what's going to happen? And Jen Johns has been helping me out, and she said, I reached out to Simon. And Simon's going to sing a bit today. And then Simon got to going. And Simon got to going. And then next thing I know, I looked up and it said, and Martin's going to sing a little bit today. So if you were here this morning early on time, you already heard Martin. He's going to come back at the end, but we're going to turn it over to the band today, featuring Simon Russell on piano.
on, Lord. Just come and walk with me, yeah. Walk with me. I said, walk with me, yeah, yeah. And just get on board. That's right. Get on board, yeah. Get on board, yeah. Yeah,
All right. Give it up for Chris. Everything must change. Nothing stays the same. Everything will change. Oh. No one stays the same. The young become the old, and mysteries do unfold. That's the way of time. Nothing, no one stays unchanged. There are not many things in life you can be sure of. Oh. Rain comes from the clouds, the sun lights up the sky, and hummingbirds do fly. Winter turns to spring, wounds begin to heal, but never much too soon. Oh. 'Cause everything must change. Young become the old. Mysteries to unfold. 'Cause that's the way of time. No one, nothing will change. There are not many things in life you can be sure of. comes from the cloud. I said, sun comes from that fills up the sky. And hummingbirds do fly. Let's do that one more time. Rain comes from the clouds. And the sun lights up the sky. And hummingbirds to fly.
That is your East Bay House Band. James Jeffley on bass, Martin Trousseau on drums and vocals, and Simon Russell on piano and lead vocals. I know everything must change, but don't you change. My goodness. Who's ready for a change? East Bay, you ready for change? Because change is coming. People get ready. Because everything, I think the world needs a change. Y'all ready for some change? That's what we're about. We're moving as a community from me to we. The annual theme for the Centers for Spiritual Living, of which this church is a member, is open at the top. Just that divine inspiration that comes from the Most High being a resident in our own bodies, in our own spirits, in our own minds. So we got that open at the top. And then we as a community are looking at this change from me to we. Yes, that there's been a long time where a couple of people have carried a lot of the weight. And we're looking at how everybody is just kind of stepping up. When you set that intention, we're going to do collective work and responsibility. When you set that intention, we're going to move from me to we. People just start showing up. Reverend Dr. Amandra got it all planned out for the whole year, interfaith diversity. She was just waiting for the opening. You understand? For the opening to happen. And then, so, the universe, it just abhors a vacuum. So then it just took for the feature artist to cancel it. And Simon stepped up, Martin stepped up. James said, now listen, I'm not singing, I'm playing the bass here. And I said, I'm with you, James. We'll do the sign language interpretation or something, but we'll do our part. Amen. Folks just step up. And then there's folks like Richard Scott and Reverend Anthony that just stay fast. Stay fast to the spot. Reverend E is here. Reverend Dr. Eloise Oliver is here. She prays for us every day. I don't have to call her to know. She told me a long time ago when she wanted to talk to Reverend Michael, I don't need to tell him. She just let him know, and he'll know. That's that type of, we talk about a mystic, but what is it? It's someone who is operating with complete conviction in the spiritual realm. Just complete conviction. So I don't worry about when she's coming or when she's not coming, because she's always here. She's always here. I see her on the wall, and she might as well be here when she's on the wall, because she's always here, and she'll always be here because this is her place. She built this house, and I'm so grateful just to be in your presence today, Reverend E. So a long time ago in the Centers for Spiritual Living, back when it was called a religious church or religious science, we done had a lot of names, haven't we, Reverend E? United Church, Religious Science, International, there have been a lot of names. We used to have this thing we did at the beginning of the year where we went through the first few chapters of the Science of Mind textbook. And every week would be a different chapter. We're on chapter 2 today. So last week was the thing itself. And for those of you who may be new to religious science and what this teaching is, or just need that little refresher, when we talk about God, we often refer to God as it. We're not it. We was way beyond gender pronouns a long time ago. See, we didn't want a gendered God that had some identity that was for half the people and not the other half the people. We always been on this. We said God is an it, not because it's a thing, but because it's a power. And when you talk about power, you use it. When you talk about electricity, you say you're going to plug it in the wall and then you're going to get some of that electricity. That's a it. Because it's a power. Love isn't it. It's a power. It's a force. So that's how we talk about the thing itself, as a force that resides and lives in us. But the most important thing we need to know with the thing is, how does it work? So that's our topic for today, the way it works. So there is a question that lives quietly beneath so much of our spiritual seeking. It's not always something we say out loud, but it kind of hums beneath our prayers, our pain, our hope, and our hesitation. How does it actually work? How does spirit move? Why does prayer even matter? How does a thought become a thing, a belief become body, vision become community? Ernest Holmes answers this in this chapter 2 of The Science of Mind, simply the way it works. Not as theory, not as dogma. For those of you who are unfamiliar, many of us come from churches that had a dogma. This is my way or the highway. It's this way or you're going to hell. That's it. We got some rules, you got to follow them or you're going to be in big trouble. We're trying to stay away from that here, right? But there is a law. It's reliable, impartial, and creative. And this month, as we also stand, the month theme for CSL is ancestral wisdom and new thought. And as our community continues the sacred work of moving from me to we, we're not invited just to understand how it works, but to practice working it together. So Ernest Holmes says, the science of mind is not a special revelation of any individual. I need you to hear this, because some of y'all are real attached to Ernest Holmes. This is what he said about it. It's not a special revelation of any individual. It is rather the combination of all revelations. We take the good wherever we find it. So you know how you say someplace, go someplace and you say, take what you like and leave the rest? That, you know, the old Bible people be like, you can't pick and choose from the Bible. They say, we didn't know pick and choose. Everybody picks and choose from the Bible because it's got a whole lot about interest and shellfish and some other stuff. You understand? Everybody picks and chooses from the Bible. And I love my friend Reverend Sekou as part of my pathway to becoming a minister, because I was like, I know I can't be a minister. I curse like a sailor. How is this going to work? But he said, I reject that doctrine. Whenever there was something in it, something homophobic, something racist, something whatever it was, and somebody would pull it out, right, and say, he said, I reject that doctrine. And I looked at him, I said, you could do that? He said, what you think they did at the Nicene Creed? They put all the books together. Who you think King James is but an editor? Somebody who took all the books that were and said, I like these ones going to make people rise up against me. We're going to leave those out. These ones say you should be a free thinker. We're going to leave those one out. We want the ones that make folks obedient. Don't get me started. But this is important, that it's not a revelation of Ernest Holmes. It's important because science of mind should never be used to isolate us into spiritual individualism. It ought to liberate us into shared truth. Too many people got on to the secret and the prosperity consciousness and thought the goal of this whole thing was to get personally free. And I have people who really say that. I love Jill Johnson. She says all the time, my job is not to free you, but to be free in front of you. And I love that. That's not how I'm taking it. I feel like we are in the business of collective liberation. We are trying to get free together, and we are trying to demonstrate and help each other where we can. I got a little freedom over here. Let me show you. You got a little freedom over here. Let me show you. Reverend E came in and said, I use this to get off welfare. Let me show you how to do it. This is why her philosophy was ask me how I know, and that's what made me want to do it. Because I knew I could talk about something I know. And that's what she taught me from foundations class in 1999. Talk to me about what you know. I came in wanting to talk about slavery. She said, you ain't been no slave. What you know about that? And she had grown up with people who had been slaves, so she's looking at me like, you in here talking about slavery like you know something. You read something. But personal liberation is useful. It's important because I don't want to learn from somebody who's not working the principles. So she said, talk to me about something that hurt you. And I said, oh. So I went into my childhood and started talking about some of the pain and experiences that I had there. And she taught me how to practice forgiveness at a really high level. And I believe that that moment catapulted me into a vision of being able to do that as a larger society. What would it look like? I spent so much time working with youth in crisis, and some of them had committed horrible crimes. So when you ask me how can I forgive people who commit horrible crimes, it's because I held my own people, my own children, and my own community who had committed horrible crimes and did that forgiveness work. And so I know there before the grace of God go me and you and everybody else. And so when I see people doing horrible things in the world, I really do believe that everybody is capable of transformation. It's hard to see sometimes, but I know that that is mine to do. So when we use science of mind to liberate us into shared truth, that truth shows up in Jesus' teachings. It shows up in indigenous wisdom. It shows up in Ifa. We got some Wiccan. I was talking to, we're gonna have the Wiccan philosophy in here too. We're looking for truth wherever it's taught. Amen. Truth that shows up whenever human beings remember we belong to each other. At the heart of the way it works is a simple but radical idea. There is only one life, one mind, one presence. And it's not a distant God way up there in the sky. It's the thing itself. Because when we have a construct that the spirit is somewhere else, well, then we got to come like, excuse me, can I get your attention? It's a misplaced thing, and that's more convenient. Because if I tell you that it lives in you, well, now you got to pay attention to yourself. Now you got to slow down long. How many people have trouble with meditation? Look around. That's most people. Get here earlier. We have meditation in this church every day online, 5 days a week. Prayer and meditation on Facebook. If you ever were like, Facebook, here's a good reason. Go on there and get your midday meditation, your morning prayers. Get that, because these are the things that cultivate your awareness of the thing itself. It wants to talk with you. But can you be still long enough to hear it, to listen for it? And most of us are avoiding it. Ask me how I know. I ran like out of here. I was like, ooh, I just escaped being a public minister. Let me get out of here. I was gone for 10 years. I was like, no. But wherever you go, there you are. Because how can you run from spirit? I ran all the way thousands of miles away to the Virgin Islands, sat there in the dark. I'm going to be on the beach. I'm going to enjoy the water, and sat there in the dark, and guess who was there? Spirit, me. And when nobody else was there was nobody to blame. Nobody was bothering me. It wasn't the people at my job. It wasn't my family. It wasn't my ex. Nobody was there but me. And that's when you realize life is living life. Intelligence is expressing intelligence. Love is knowing itself as love. And that one life, it moves through law. Not favoritism, not luck, not punishment. How many people still holding on to God is punishing them? Or you being punished for something you didn't do. I didn't study in school. I didn't marry the right person. I didn't treat my mama right. I didn't treat my children right. I didn't listen. We got a story of why we're not But that is not how the thing itself works. The way it works is not punishment or reward, it's law. Just as gravity works whether we understand it or not, spiritual law works whether or not we believe it. Holmes says plainly, ignorance of the law excuses no one from its effects. But that is not meant to shame us, it's meant to empower us. Because let me tell you something. If certain ways of thinking have produced limitation, and I'm going to tell you right now, that's not an if. Certain ways of thinking have produced limitation in our lives. Then other ways of thinking can produce freedom. Holmes says we are bound because we are first free. The power which appears to bind us is the only power in the universe which can free us. This is good news, and it's also responsibility. Somebody said to me, we were in our Change Your Thinking class, and somebody asked me, well, why? You know, I'm trying to understand this whole religious science cosmology thing. Why does it work like this? Why not just have it where instead of having to like pray and treat and then change happens, why not just have the good instead of, you know, all the other challenges? And I was like, oh, this is what being the great human experience is all about, is having choice, right? Otherwise, we could have just been God. God decided, Spirit decided to express itself as the individual known as you. It could have just sat and been chilling and been like, I'm so great. This is so good. Boy, it's good to be me. Huh. It's great. And that could have just been eternity. Spirit just being with itself, conscious of itself, loving itself. And then it decided, you know what would be fun? Let's just create a lot of trees and birds and animals. And you know what? I should create folks with consciousness, with the ability to create like I create. I wonder what they would do. I wonder what they would do if I gave them the power to create anything. They could create anything, just like me. What would they do? I did a plant medicine journey one time, and Spirit said, you know, I'm about tired of y'all. Because I gave you the power to create anything, and let me tell you, the first thing y'all want to do with it is say who don't got the power. You ain't using it right. You ain't got it. This group of people don't have it. Obviously, Spirit ain't in them. That's what you want to do. You could create anything, and what you want to create is a story about who don't got the creation. That's an interesting choice. You right. I did say free will, so you can choose to say I don't exist, or you don't exist, or other people aren't me, or who is me and who's not me. But it might be fun if we created some of what we want. You could have that. Holmes tells us that within every person lives the seed of perfection. Hidden perhaps, dormant perhaps, but always present. Infinite life is inside you. Peace is inside us. Intelligence is inside us. Law is inside us. Power is inside us. And here is where our from me to we theme matters deeply, because the seed of perfection doesn't only live in me, the figurehead, the minister, the pastor. Some of y'all, I appreciate all the praise. I love you, Reverend Derica. There is nothing you see in me that is not inside you. Nothing. You wouldn't even know what it was and how to appreciate it if you didn't have it. You couldn't even recognize it if it wasn't in you. It lives in us. And what happens is when one person in our community forgets their worth, the whole community is affected by that. When one group in the universe is denied access, the whole system suffers. And this is the basis for sacred activism. That is what we're talking about. When we talk about radical oneness, we're looking at what's happening in Minnesota and in Portland, and some of us are not shocked at all. We tried to tell you, you can't put people out. of the divinity of spirit. I don't care what group it is. Pick a group. Whoever you draw outside the circle is going to impact everyone. So some of the people who voted to say, well, we want those people out because they're bad. They're the stories that were told, the lies that were told. It's always a lie when people tell you a group is dispensable. That's always a lie. And I could give you some hard groups. But if you do prison ministry, we could tell you there's some folks in there. There's some folks in there that just deserve forgiveness. And once you do that, you can forgive anybody. Some of us, it's a hard teaching. Yeah. Some of us have to forgive the violations that happened to us. And not because it was all right what happened. Not so we can let folks off the hook, but so we can free ourselves from the delusion of duality. The delusion of duality says there's good and evil, and it's so pervasive in this culture that we have whole systems, whole movements. Now they got a big thing, we're going to investigate fraud, right? And what are they going to do? They're going to send the Gestapo out again to investigate fraud. And yes, I use Gestapo on purpose, right? Because when you have a military that reports to one person, right, and actually goes out without any ability for us to hold them accountable. I mean, masks. So we can't even see who's doing what, right? So here's the thing. We're not holding them outside. Simon and I were talking about people get ready and the train is coming, and there's a line in the original song that Curtis Mayfield wrote that said, there's no room for the hopeless sinner who would hurt all mankind just to save his soul. But I said, Simon, we're not saying it. He said, don't worry, I wasn't going to say that, no way. I said, because that's not what we're doing here. Bob Miley said, is there a place for the hopeless sinner? I'm going to tell you there's a place. On the train that's coming through East Bay, there's a place for the hopeless sinner that will hurt all mankind just to save his soul. And I'm going to tell you, if you knew the story of everybody in here, including me, you would know I'm one of those sinners. See, that's the thing. We want to be good. We want everybody to be good. That's not how it works. Reverend E said the way you do one thing is the way you do everything. If you're willing to cut any group of people off, then the society is going to suffer. Because that same knife that you use to cut them off is going to be used to cut you off. That's how it works. What go around, come around. Pick the adage that you need, but that's how it works. And the same thing happens in the way the church works. When you isolate an individual and you say they're the problem, when leadership is isolated, burnout follows. Or even if you cut people off and put them in the solution box. This person is the savior. This person is the good person. What does that mean? Who's the bad people? Right? We have an opportunity here to see ourselves as one. Anything that you cut off and you put in the box, it creates burnout. It creates tension. It creates a blockage. When abundance is hoarded, circulation stops. So some people think that the prosperity gospel is about getting as rich as you possibly can. I'm going to get $1 trillion. I'm going to hit the lottery. That's not what this is about. We're talking about the law of circulation here. We're talking about giving and receiving. The point of the getting is so that we can be in the law of the flow. So whatever East Bay gets, it ought to be given out. And I'm just going to tell you, we haven't been doing that enough, in my personal opinion. And I'm getting a handle now on some of what our core bills are that have kept us from being able to do all that we want to do in the world. And so we have been doing some amazing work. Thank you, Crystal. Thank you, Veronica. Thank you to the board. And folks are coming that are saying, I can help you figure this out. Thank you to the Abundance and Development Committee. So many people are coming now to say, okay, let's get a handle on this so we understand where we need to change so that we can be in the flow of circulation. I want us to be giving out as much as we are receiving. Science of mind teaches that thought creates reality, but thought is never just personal. Thought is cultural. Thought is collective. Thought is what created the systems of injustice that we have right now. So thought can create the systems of justice and peace and love that we intend to have. So the question is not only just personal, what am I believing about my life? It's collective. What are we believing about who East Bay can be together? Are we unconsciously affirming scarcity, separation, and self-protection? Or are we daring to affirm truth? Because, see, I see it. I see it in the way people are coming home and the way people are reconnecting, the way folks are stepping up. You don't know, Reverend Arlene and Crystal and I, the phone has been ringing nonstop. How can I help? What can I do? There's a movement that is happening that is beautiful. It's beautiful. And when we are able, I look at this room, and I see the diversity in this room, the racial, the gender, the socioeconomic, the sexual orientation. I see the diversity in this room, and I think, this is the great experiment right here. That's what they say. Sunday is the most segregated day of the week. Not at East Bay. Not at East Bay. And we are the ones to do it right here in the Bay Area in California, where there is this great experiment going on in Oakland. And they're like, can people be unapologetically black and radically inclusive? Can we get together across our socioeconomic divides and actually have a church community where it's not all about how much you have, but how much you're willing to be in the law of circulation? Do you understand what I'm saying? This is something that we can do. It's the principle that Reverend E built the church on. She wanted it by a bus line. And see, here's the thing. Y'all know some churches, they don't want nobody off the bus. Do you understand? Can we be that place where nobody is shamed for having a lot or having a little? Right? That's the thing. I had somebody come, folks come and say, well, you know, I'm not sure if we belong here because we're not, you know, off the bus line. We have a lot. And I'm like, absolutely you belong here. Let me tell you how I know you belong here, because you asked the question. That's how I know you belong here, because you asked the question, is there a place for me here? And so you're paying attention to the dynamics in the space in the room. And this is our opportunity, y'all. This is our legacy. This is who we are. We are a place that accepts and welcomes people from all backgrounds, all faiths, whatever your story is. There's a place for you here. And I'm so excited about the candle of multi-faith diversity, because I really want us to be a multi-faith community where you can come and bring whatever it is that you practice, because you don't have to throw away what you grew up with. There's good in that, and we want to practice it. Jesus says, it is done unto you as you believe. That's the core teaching of religious science. And it's not meant as blame. Some people try to reverse engineer that. Like, if something is wrong in your life, it's your fault because you thought something wrong. We're not doing that. That's old school. We're not doing that. It is done unto you as you believe is meant as a revelation. Suffering is not imposed upon us by some cruel God or a cruel universe or a cruel regime. It emerges when we forget our true nature. It's the forgetting of our true nature that has allowed the systems of oppression to dominate. That's what it is. And remembering is not just an internal act, it's a communal one. This is where spiritual mind treatment comes alive, because we're not just asking some guy hoping that the mystery will bless us, but we're aligning ourselves with the spiritual consciousness that's already in us. It gave it to us, just like this flame over here. It gave it to us as our life, as our breath, as our consciousness. We do not beg the universe to be generous. We recognize the generosity of the universe, the nature of life. We don't will things into being. Some people think that this religious science is about positive thinking, and you got to just think real hard, and I'm going to have great things. I'm going to have great things. I'm going to make it happen because I'm going to concentrate really hard, and I'm going to make my vision board. I'm going to look at it every day, and if I concentrate real hard and frown my face up real tight, and every day, then it'll happen. I got to make it happen. That's the opposite of what it is. What you are doing is realizing that it's already here. It's already there. It's not going to happen in some future, and it's not dependent upon you to happen. It's already there. The good is already there. Prosperity is already available. Love is in abundance. It's already flowing. Good health, I know it's hard. Sometimes we get a diagnosis, and we don't know what to do with that. It's like, but that's what this whole philosophy was built on. What part of your health is influenced by your mind? What part of your health is influenced by your mind? I'm not saying 100% of it, because, see, that's that reverse engineering thing. That allows you to think that it's your fault if you have cancer. No, we don't believe that. What we do believe, Reverend Michael's podcast is called Take Back Your Mind. What we do believe is that you don't have to buy into the human race consciousness that tells you because the doctor said that, or because your calendar said you're this age, or because your mama used to have whatever, that is a prediction for your life. Everything is possible and available, and miracles happen every day, and we only call them miracles when we're faithless. It's not even a miracle for God. That means like God had to do something amazing, and here we go with the big thing that just came down and, whoa, miracled us. It's every day. It's every day. Reverend Anthony, when I ride together on second Sunday, and we were talking about the flu shot, and he said, I got the flu shot, and I got sick as a dog. And I said, we don't know. The flu sometimes can kill you, so maybe you got sick as a dog, but you didn't die. Maybe the flu shot is not for you. You're like, I ain't taking that, Reverend Drika. I'm not here to tell you what. Don't come ask me if you should take the flu shot. Please don't ask me that. Please don't ask me that. Because there's something in you that knows. If you are afraid of the surgery, you might want to conquer the fear and then decide whether you need the surgery. Because it's the fear maybe keeping you from the very surgery you need. Ask me how I know. I waited a whole year to get my fibroids removed because I was going to heal myself. I'm going to heal myself. I'm a practitioner. They told me I had 2 grapefruits, 2 oranges, and 2 lemons and an orange. And I said, okay. I went to Eshe the herb lady. She said, I can help you with the lemons. I said, okay. I became a vegetarian. I became a vegan. I did the acupuncture, the reflexology. I went to all the herb people. And then a practitioner said to me, how come God can be in the herbs but not in the surgeon? I don't know who needed to hear that. You need to go to the doctor. This ain't that church. We believe in all the balance. Now, some of y'all got a doctor that's a fearmonger and is pushing you straight to the pharmaceuticals without even having a moment to pay attention. It's not a quick answer. The answer is within. The way this thing works is you drop into the place inside you that knows. You connect with the thing itself and let it guide you. That's where the trust comes. And if you come to me, all I'm going to do is strengthen your connection. Like, you know how Chris is in IT, so I could use the IT examples. You know how sometimes you're like, what's wrong with this? What's wrong with it? And then you go to the back and you see the cable is loose. You're like, oh, the cable is not plugged in. That's what's wrong, right? That's all a practitioner does for you, is tighten up your cables. We just here to tighten up your cables. I am not the power. I am not the power. I am here to tighten up. Come on, come here. Let me say, okay, no, your cables is low. You said, what? You gonna fail. Okay, hold on, okay, you sure you're gonna fail? Is it possible that you're gonna succeed? Is it possible that everything you need, everything I need, is already available? We declare what is already true at the level of spirit and allow it to take form. And as a community moving from me to we, our prayer becomes collective. What is the highest vision, Spirit's highest vision for East Bay? What would love do through this body called church? And what is it that wants to circulate through East Bay this year, right now in 2026? The law of circulation, it is only as we allow the divine current, Holmes says, to flow through us on and out that we really express life. Giving and receiving are not opposites. If you ever come and you volunteer early here today, we stand in a circle and I always say right hand over to give, left hand to receive, because it's one movement. When circulation stops, life stagnates. When circulation flows, life thrives. This is not about money. It's about all of it. It includes money, but it's about attention, care, leadership, creativity, rest. 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 Yesterday was my first Saturday off in a long time. You know what we did? Nothing. Oh, great. And we were so tired from doing nothing, we took a nap at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Like, whew. Oh, man. Yes. Nothing. Rest is not nothing. Rest is everything. I'm just figuring that out. Listen, I'm looking, if some of y'all got dogs and cats, you already know. How many hours a day? Is it just sitting there like, you know? Yeah. Truth-telling, mutual responsibility, and here's where indigenous wisdom offers us a powerful mirror. One of the books for this year that CSL's reading is Braiding Sweetgrass, and Robin Wall Kimmerer writes, a gift comes to you through no action of your own. Your only role is to be wide open and present. And I think that's really important because sometimes in religious science, we get so caught up on dominion that we want to make everything happen. And dominion can get exhausting. If you are constantly thinking that it's up to you to make it all happen, it can kind of feed your ego in ways that aren't really healthy. There are things that are just grace. Things that are just blessing. People are coming up with ideas and doing things and helping out at East Bay in ways we couldn't imagine. The offering, you all have been so incredibly generous. And it's the blessing of flow. In many indigenous traditions, gifts are not owned. They are received so they can be shared. Imagine our church being shaped by that wisdom. Imagine leaders supported, not consumed. There's a few people in the lead of a ministry right now that are just hoping you will show up and volunteer so that they're not overwhelmed. I'm already talking to a few people who are stepping up and doing a lot. I'm like, wait. We got to build a team. Or can I just say, we got to build a team around Nguyen, who is doing some amazing things for us in communication, but it's already starting to be a thing. Ask Nguyen, all night. We texting late at night, early in the morning. Who else knows how to do communications in here? Hands up. Look, nobody want to raise their hand. Look, Nguyen, Nguyen, raise your hand. Higher, you got to raise it up higher, right? So a lot of things come to Nguyen because she was willing and said yes. And what if there's a team? This is the me to we opportunity that we get to have. Imagine members who know how to both give and receive. Sometimes you got to come to church and not work and sit down. Just sit down. And it's okay if whatever your job is doesn't get done that day. Because I am a firm believer that if we don't have a lot of people who will do it, we just going to have to stop doing it. Oh, yeah, y'all like, Reverend Derek, I don't know if you mean that. I do. Imagine abundance not as accumulation, but as circulation. I want this to be $1 million church, but I want the $1 million to be flowing through Oakland. Right? It should be flowing so that there's programs and opportunities and food pantry and clothes closets and all kinds of things that we should be doing. Look at what Reverend Ona is doing with Abundant Blessings, just with her and a few volunteers. They out with the folks in the farm. They out with the unhoused. She's out there. All of us can do that. This should be how it works here at East Bay. So together, grounded in law and love, we affirm, I give and receive freely with an open heart. Say that. I give and receive freely with an open heart. Not just give, not just receive, both as one movement. Because a community that only gives burns out. And a community that only receives collapses inward. Science of mind is practical. Truth has to be lived. So this week, ask yourself sacred questions inspired by this ancestral wisdom. What is mine to give? Right? Ask yourself, what is yours to give? I'm not concerned about whether it's just at East Bay. It's about where are you giving in the world. And then, some of y'all need this one right here. How am I open to receiving? As soon as somebody offers you some help, you say, no, it's okay. No, it's okay. No, it's okay. Just pay attention this week to how many times you're like, no, it's okay, I got it. No, I don't need you to. No. Be a yes person. Be a yes person. There's a blessing that somebody is asking you if they can help you. How might East Bay's life together change if we were in that kind of flow? People were here were giving, people here were receiving. We take action. Maybe it looks like offering something you no longer need on Free Cycle or one of these apps where you can just give things away for free. Somebody needs something that is at your house collecting dust. Right? Maybe it looks like you, this one was for me. Maybe it looks like you giving presents instead of advice. Being present, just listening instead of giving advice. I know I'm not alone on that one. Because y'all got a lot of advice. Maybe it looks like sending gratitude to an artist who has fed your soul. Maybe it looks like saying yes when help is offered. These are not small things. They are spiritual technology. Each act of circulation aligns us with the law. So as we close, I want to say that Holmes tells us that one day the old ways of scarcity, fear, and separation will be rolled up like a scroll and numbered with the things which were once thought to be. This is the vision of sacred activism and radical oneness in this church, that scarcity, fear, and separation will be rolled up like a scroll and numbered into things. There's going to be a time where we say, I remember where we used to operate, the government used to operate on fear, and now it runs on love. That does not just arrive on its own. It arrives because people choose truth together. So may we be a community that is open at the top, receptive to spirit, rooted in ancestral wisdom, practicing new thought, not just in mind, but in structure, and courageously moving from me to we, because this is just not how it works. It's how we work. So let's just take a moment to reground ourselves, recenter ourselves in our breath. Practitioners, if you want to stand and just be recognized for the prayer consciousness that you are. I just want to acknowledge every person who put a prayer request in this box. Spirit says yes. It's already done. There's no time and space in God, so there's only one life, and that life is whole, and it's perfect, and it's complete, and it's strong, and it's peaceful, and it's prosperous, and it brings health and wellness and wholeness and love and joy to each of us. Because that's the truth about who and whose we are. And so I know that I'm one with that spirit, and I know that it's moving in my life, and I can sense the change that's coming. I'm ready for my change. And so right here and right now, I declare that's true for each and every person gathered here in the sound of my voice, love streaming, whenever, wherever people are watching this. There's a sense that we've been praying in this place today, praying for the perfect, clear outcome. Whatever it is, we've taken it to spirit. And because we know who and whose we are, we stand affirming the way that it works is I accept the goodness that is already my birthright, not my inheritance for some other time, not my gift, the reward that God gives me for being good, but my birthright. It's what I came into being. I came here to be prosperous. I came here to be blessed with love. I came here to have health in my body. I rejuvenate my own cells because the divine lives in me. And if this is true for me, it's true for your body temple. It's true for your finances. It's true for your family. It's true for all of us everywhere, moving and agreeing to be in the goodness, the flow, the law of circulation of receiving and giving. I feel the flow now. I feel it flowing through these prayer requests. I feel it comforting families who have been mourning the loss of their loved ones. Our own Tariq Figueroa, gone at 30 years old, was here on New Year's Eve with his mother, Omalade. And their services will be here this month. And I'm just blessing their family, blessing Imani and their family right now. I'm comforting each and every person who maybe didn't put a treatment request in this box, but it's on your heart right now. Who's on your heart right now that you want to send a prayer for? Spirit says, yes, I'm right there with them. There's no time and space wherever they are. They feel this moment where we collectively are saying, they're one. They're one with us. We bless them. Say the name out loud of anybody you want to send a blessing to right now. Yes, Omalade and Imani, Lindell, Derek, Aunt Helen. Just say the names of anybody you want to send a blessing to, because there's something about the way we use this thing where we speak our intention and it focuses our thoughts and it creates a vibration. The Spirit says yes. So I'm so grateful that we get an opportunity to practice today the way the thing works, that there's practitioners here who are available for prayer here after service. They'll be right here with you to know the truth for you when it seems sometimes hard, because it seems hard sometimes in this world right now with what's going on to know the truth, but it's not hard for spirit. It's not hard for spirit to know, and that part of us, we want to just tighten our cables up a little bit so we know the truth no matter what the cable news is saying. Our cable is connected to spirit. And so I release this word now. The most important thing I can do is just go and stop talking and let spirit have it. Let spirit have it. Let spirit have its way, because the law is working on my behalf. I know it's conspiring to make manifest everything that we've said, everything that's been sung, everything that's been read, every meditation, every scripture. It's all coming true right now. There's a shift on the planet that said, no, that's not the way we're going. We're headed toward love. We're going to have a department of peace. It's all changing because it's changing in our minds. We're building a train even for those that spitefully use us. We're building a train even for them. How good it is to let go and trust spirit. And I just invite you to join me in letting go of fear, lack, and limitation and dis-ease by saying, Ashe, Amen, and so it is. Woo! All right. It's offertory time, and I'm so grateful for the generosity of this community. We are getting a handle. Our monthly income for some time now has not met all of our monthly expenses. but it's coming around. Some of you are stepping up and saying, I'll be a recurring giver. More of you are giving on Sundays, and we appreciate you. We appreciate you. We will have a community meeting next month to talk about our annual budget for 2026. So just take a moment now before the basket comes to ask yourself, what is yours to give? You don't worry about what a book told you or your bank account told you. Ask Spirit, what is yours to give? Because this is an opportunity sometimes for us to move through fear and be in balance. You don't have to give what you're not feeling ready to give. But if it's your time today to become a recurring giver or to add a little something extra, just check in with Spirit and say, what's yours to do? Now let's read our offertory statement. Together, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Please raise your hand if you need an envelope, and raise your credit card if you need the credit card machine, and folks will come to you. Hands for envelope, card for credit card machine. Ushers are coming to handle that. And here are our ways to give. You can actually take out your phone and send a text to 510-650-0535. You can hold it up and get the QR code. The tap machine is coming. There's Zelle. You can Zelle if you got that on your phone. The world is making it easier. There's so many different ways. I'm glad you said in the front, Chris Hanif. I didn't get a chance to thank you for jumping on earlier. And I love that this community, thank you, Simon, so gracious. He was like, hey, come on, brother. I appreciate that. Love you, Chris. And there's little Luna in our way. Hey, Luna. We love an East Bay baby. That is just the best thing. Jennifer Agme is here with her beautiful baby. I remember when that was my Nia, and we was in the aisle, and Reverend E would say, don't leave when she started crying. Just sit right there. She'll learn how to be in church. So we're grateful for all the babies. And where's Becky Hanif? Is Becky still here? I just want to say thank you to Becky, who noticed that when we don't have children's church, sometimes the children are fidgeting in church, and she came up with little bags that the ushers could give out for toys for the children to play with during service. Thank you for that. So many people are holding the vision of how we can improve. All right, I see a hand back there. Makeda, there's a hand in the back on the other side. Makeda. There's a hand over there. Thank you. All right. And here's one here for the card machine. Awesome. Crystal over here. There's one for the card right here. And Pat, right here, Pat. Pat. Does anybody else need the basket or the card machine? Awesome. The band plus Chris Hanif. I love it. There's a place for all of us.
My soul on fire. Whatever it is, it won't let me out. Oh, my peace. What is this? Has folks say I'm acting strange. Makes them think I'm somehow deranged. Whatever it is, yeah, whatever it is. Y'all say, whatever it is, yeah, it won't let me won't let me. Oh, 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 my peace. Oh, my peace. Sometimes you gotta hold your peace. Oh, 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 whatever it is, it won't let me. Oh, 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 my business.
Woo! Awesome, awesome, awesome. So let's just take a moment to be still so we can just give thanks. Thanks for the generosity of the offering. Thanks for all those who had the desire but not the means today. And just thanks for the blessing that we send out into the world with these gifts, the prayers that we give, the food pantry that's open, the way in which we create new programs that serve our members and our broader community. I believe in what we are building here. I see it. And I'm grateful for each and every person who paid it forward. I'm grateful for this law of circulation, how we are giving and receiving. And so it is. All right, it's time for the announcements. I'm going to do the first couple ones. So we are doing classes now. And I want to say this to you about the classes. If you are interested in deepening your practice, the classes are the place to do that. Self-mastery is being taught by our own Constance Chapman. It begins this Tuesday from 6:30 to 9. It's an online class. And I'm just going to tell you that in my trajectory of taking classes here, self-mastery was one of the most important classes that I took. Because you could talk about the abstract of how the thing works, but you got to get into yourself and how you're using or not using it. Some of us been in this philosophy a long time, but haven't taken the classes, which is where you tune up. You want to get those cables adjusted? Self-mastery is the place to do that. Thank you so much, Constance. And our own Kay Suzanne Massey, practitioner emerita, is teaching Roots of the Science of Mind. There's another set of you that's been coming for a while, but you kind of really want to learn a little bit more about the history of science of mind. You're kind of thinking like, it actually really, I know I'm thinking of Brandon here who took the class and was like, wow, the world that this comes from, the new thought environment that this philosophy was created in is beautiful and rich. And Roots will give you an opportunity to take a look at that because the fruit, it matters, but the roots is where you get the juice of how it all started. So that is 10 weeks on Monday, beginning on January 26th, so the end of the month from 6 to 9, also online. And all of these you can sign up for online. And Untangling Whiteness is having its open house today. This is a workshop series. Through relationships we transform and in community we heal. I've asked Kasum to come and talk to you about it. Kasum, come on up. And I just want to say this. When I went to Costa Rica, there was a moment where there was, we had one of those things with somebody touching somebody's hair and someone white was touching a person of color's hair, and, and I was thinking, are we still doing that? And there was, the whole, like, oh my gosh, it's so amazing. And I don't say that to shame anybody, because folks, these are called microaggressions because not everybody understands, or you might intend something as a compliment, and then you're shocked to find out that somebody didn't take it that way. Because all you have to do really is test it yourself and see what it feels like if it was you. If somebody goes, oh, your hair is so thin, I've just never seen anything like it. Can I touch it? It's a little strange, right? And so we have to have spaces, though, where we can talk about that. And so what I said to Reverend Michael at the time is that if it were ultra-processed foods or genetically modified organisms, we'd be saying, hey, that stuff can kill you, don't eat that. Racism can kill you, don't eat that. Right? And he said, you know, that's a good way of thinking about it. So I hope I have your blessing, Reverend Michael, for saying that. But that is what I want us to be as a community, is a place where we are thoughtful enough to explore what is it that we've ingested in this society, in this race consciousness, that we need to take a look at. And we might unintentionally be using in ways that are harmful to ourselves and each other, because there is only one of us.
Thank you, Reverend Derica. I'm getting over a cold, so I'm trying to be very respectful and keeping away from people, so if I didn't give you a hug earlier, that's why. I'm so grateful to be a part of this community that really matters in the way that we relate with each other. I think I said the last time I made an announcement, as an organization, as a church that is unapologetically Black and is radically inclusive, people with European ancestry, we have work to do to be a part of that, to show up in the way that really honors those values, in the way that doesn't also take away from our radical oneness and doesn't take away from our divine energy, right? We are all divine beings, and we have been raised in a society that is white supremacist in so many of our systems, our institutions, and also sometimes in our families. We are both divine and socialized as white-bodied, some of us, not everyone in this room, obviously. And the ones who have that experience, we want to do the work to transform and change. And so this is an opportunity to do that work. Today we'll have an open house. Myself and Sue over here, we are co-facilitating the space. Today is an open house. Anyone's welcome to come, even if, you know, no one with melanin is excluded. And it is an opportunity to just meet us and see if you want to join. It is a 5-month series. The slide that's up there, we actually pushed it back to start in February. So today is more of an open house. So we'll actually start the series in February. It'll be a 5-month, 2 times a month, from 1 to 3 here at East Bay. And we welcome folks to be here, and really the workshop is set up for people who have European descent in their bodies, in their families, and really want to untangle the harmful ways that whiteness has taken away our soul. And we want to rehumanize ourselves and really find our soul back through collective, through community. So thank you all. We hope to see you today at 1. Thank you.
Good afternoon, East Bay. I am Precious Green, and as always, it is my pleasure to provide the remaining community announcements for the day. In speaking with Reverend Derica this morning to go over everything, she really reiterated that this really is the year, the season of from me to we. And so with that in mind, I want you to think in those terms as we review the exciting opportunities for us to take East Bay out into the community and the world. Yes. So first up, we have the Martin Luther King service. If I could have that slide, Brett. Nice and quick. Thank you so much. All right. Now, this right here is our talk in action, because Reverend Derica and Reverend E will be a part of this Dr. King Day Interfaith service. That will be on January 19th. The theme, where do we go from here, from chaos to community? And I can think of no better place than, as Reverend Amandra said, East Bay being made for a moment like this to lead us from chaos to community. So the details are there on the screen, and as always, you can find more information at www.ebcrs.org. Make sure we are in the house, y'all. Amen. You know, it's one thing for, it's at Evergreen Missionary. It's a Missionary Baptist church? That's the kind of church I grew up in, so yeah, please be there. Evergreen Missionary Baptist Church. So, and the details and address and everything are on the slide and on the website. All right, continuing. And oh my goodness, the universe just works in beautiful ways, because seeing these 2 little divas over here walking and chatting, I mean, and the leather skirt, so fashion. Okay. with that in mind, that is the beauty of our youth, and that is what is at the heart of our youth and family ministry. We are so excited because over the years, many of you have said yes, you've done what we have asked, and this year we are really zooming in, focusing in, and launching anew. So mark your calendars for next Saturday, January 17th. I know, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Please, if you have any interest in working with our youth, if you see these babies and you just want to love on them, even in a small way, please make plans to attend the orientation. It will begin at noon, and what we plan on doing is reviewing the requirements for working with youth as we move towards expanding our children's church to a weekly opportunity. We also want to hear from those of you who are committed to supporting and uplifting our youth and family. And who can resist Luna? She's over here trying to make a pitch herself, So please, if you have any questions, please reach out to Becky Hanif. Becky, could you rate? Becky, actually stand. Yes, and Misha, stand. These are the two who are coordinating this effort. Let them know that they can expect you, and if you have any questions or ideas. Thank you both. Next slide, please. All right. How many of you were here for our New Year's Eve celebration? Yes. If you remember, it was pretty incredible. It was a full house because it was the first of many of a commitment of all of our sister communities to come together for these incredible experiences. And oh my gosh, they're so cute. We are going to continue that partnership in spirit with Heart and Soul and with Oakland Center this Wednesday with a cross-community justice gathering. Of course, this partnership launched here at East Bay, and they came to our house, and now the invitation has been extended for us to go to theirs. The cross-community justice gathering will be taking place Wednesday starting at 6 o'clock. If you're able to join in person, we'll be gathering at Heart and Soul Center of Light. If you are not, but you're able to join online, there will be a Zoom option. If you have your phone, and if you don't, interesting, but if you have your phone, go ahead and you can scan that QR code to RSVP and get those details. But we are really excited about this partnership, this opportunity. And again, it is an invitation to take the energy, the spirit, the we-ness of East Bay into the larger community. Oh, yes. It will be instead of our usual Wednesday talkback service with Reverend Derica, because she's going to be at the gathering. All right. Next slide, please. Okay. And Misha, raise your hand again. Yeah, just you might as well stand up. So I'm sure you all recall Misha has been up for several Sundays letting you know about our Creative Conscious Gallery silent auction. And I had a moment to check in with her today because the auction, this current iteration, will end at the end of this month. And there are only bids on 3 pieces thus far. And the thing is, this is an opportunity for each of us to take a piece of East Bay from the East Bay archives into our homes, give them as gifts, however you feel so moved. And it's a silent auction. So you can scan any of the QR codes with any of the pieces and you will see what the bids have been thus far. There is a possibility if you pick on a piece and you make a bid, you may get it. Reverend Derica said you could get it for as little as $1. We have never heard of that in art. But at the end of the day, what matters is that these pieces are released into community and East Bay and the Reverend E Scholarship Fund are supported. So please take a few minutes. If there is a piece that speaks to you, you can directly scan that QR code. Otherwise, if the slide can go back up, please. There's a QR code there that includes all of the pieces. In addition, we want this to be a recurring activity, so if you are an artist or know someone who is creative, please have them contact Misha because we want to continue to support the artists in our community. And with that, yes. Yes, or the QR code, or so, or just find Misha. So, as always, more information is available on our website, which you all know is www.ebcrs.org. If you are one of our love streamers, you can hit that up as well. Or Harriet Johnson does a phenomenal job supporting our online community. She can answer questions as well. Thank you all so much. Have a great afternoon.
Okay, it is time for us to prepare to leave the space. Say hi to Reverend Derica, give her a hug, give her a fist bump or something. You're gonna be in the back? Okay, she'll be in the back. So let us stand. Let us stand as we prepare. You could give me a little Simon. And as we recognize the power and the presence of the Spirit expressing as each and every one of us, we do that without any hesitation. For God is truly in the midst of all things. And as we leave, I must remember, are there any practitioners that will be available for prayer at the service? Would you please come forward? And this is not a practice session, it's just a laser of practitioners' willingness to address any issue or anything you want to celebrate with them. So the practitioners are here, so take advantage of those if you can. And I would like to say go 49ers, and we'll go from here. May the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable as we go forward spreading the consciousness of the good news that I am, we are, and so it is. Have a blessed day.